Good day, Finesse fam. Give everybody time to get in. Good day, good day. How is everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? All right. Make sure if you guys haven't, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys like and share. Make sure you guys like and share. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell. Make sure you hit that so you can get the notifications when we go live. Make sure you guys hit that bell. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button. Subscribe to so you can know when I do lives and when I submit and upload videos for you guys. And we will get started shortly. Hopefully everybody's having a great day today. Having a great day. Hopefully you guys are getting things accomplished today. Let it be at work or at home, taking care of business. I work at home, taking care of business. Remember, guys, today we're going to get into that topic of, are you getting the correct advice to help your life, your relationships, and your occupations? All right, are you guys getting that correct advice? We're going to discuss that. We're going to chop that up. We're going to get into different things that are going on around the world, especially in social media. And we're going to have that discussion for the culture today. Are you getting the correct advice? What should you do? How should you discern if the advice is good or not? All right. Once again, make sure you guys hit that like button, share, subscribe, get all my notes and things together. All right, guys. All right, guys. So, should we listen to unwarranted advice? That's a good topic and interesting topic that I want to discuss today, since we're living in the land of the gurus, the self-help people. We're living in the land of everybody has something or a course to get you started and get you going in life. We want to really get into it. Do credentials matter, you guys? We want to know, do you have to take into account the different situations that you are getting this advice for? We also want to know solutions. What should we do, or how can we handle that situation if we are getting advice from somebody? All right. Should we elicit mentors in our community? Are they even worth it now in our community right now? Is mentorship helping? Do we have mentorship? And even how to handle the conversation. So when you are having a conversation with somebody, what are the do's and don'ts of actively having a conversation? Not just you talking, saying what you want, but having a good discord to where you can go back and forth with a person and have a healthy conversation. Once again, that is really important in this community, and it is important in this society right now. All right. So if you guys haven't done it, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you guys can see when I come on. Also, guys, make sure you check out some videos that I've already done. The 2021 food supply and shortage coming video. That one's really imperative because it is letting you guys know about what items will be and are already coming up in short supply around the whole nation, United States, and some specific areas in some states. Really, really important. All right. Also, guys, I did another update video on how we perceive ourselves, the pressures we have, and especially in the Black culture about how we look, dieting, exercise. Also did an update video so you guys can see me. I talk it like I walk it and walk it like I talk it. So I am actually working, exercising, working with a trainer too. So you can kind of see that in my journey. I will upload videos for that so you guys can see how to live a healthy lifestyle. Hopefully we will have that trainer come on so you guys can ask questions and or get the advice you need to live your healthy lifestyle and have a good fitness lifestyle also. All right. Also, guys, I do motivational videos too. So I normally try to upload those at least every other day. So make sure that you guys check those videos out because sometimes it just takes a word. It takes somebody telling you something positive or you just hearing that and then honestly receiving it once you hear it and then you can move your day forward. So I do a lot of inspirational, motivational videos and those are key with anybody anywhere, any genre. Sometimes you just need to hear a good word to get your day started. All right. So let's let you guys know who I am if you have not been in the building before. All right. I am Mrs. B Finesse, and the goal of me and this channel is I give my millennial mindset to use my wisdom to educate the world on how to live your best life and how life really is just a finesse, the way you work it, guys. I'm an educator, life coach, inspiring author, and visionary. I will review topics and give my millennial mindset on it. There's no limit to what I will address. All right. So JP, the aspiring matriarch, that is in the building. One of my day ones. I appreciate you, Miss JP, the aspiring matriarch. She says, "Hey, brilliant woman, how's your spirit? My spirit today is brilliance. I feel great today." JP, you guys need to make sure you check out her channel. She's just starting off too, like me, and she does really good as far as opening weight loss journey that is just unbelievable, guys. Be the aspiring matriarch. She has some good things for you guys. You make sure you have a tissue though. She might make your eyes water a little bit, but make sure you guys check that out. JP, the aspiring matriarch. Yay, my family's here. Blind guy, his wife, their life. Still flexing with the fashion. Come through. You funny. You guys sound like my students, my older and younger students that I teach. Yeah, I just that's me. I'm very colorful. I like colors. I like clothes. Yeah, I do like fashion. I might have to do a fashion segment. I say like if I didn't do what I did as far as going to college and doing all that, I should have just been a personal what's that called? Fashion consultant, where you buy people their clothes. That's what I should have been because I love that. I love fashion. I love clothes. I love all that in one. So yeah, thank you guys. So the topic today, guys, we're going to be discussing, and I want everybody to put their insight in this, guys, because I know a lot of people you sit and watch, but you don't kind of get involved. But I do want you guys to get involved in this conversation because this is a very good conversation for our culture, and it's something that we need to talk about. Going back to Blind Guy, his wife, their life, make sure you guys check their channel out too. They have very good information, good content. I mean, they're on it. They are so committed. They do live streams Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, and it's so entertaining. They're so engaged in what they do, and they love what they're doing. So it's so genuine. So make sure you guys go check them out. They have an awesome channel. They have awesome energy, and they are great for the culture too. JP says, Blind Guy, his wife, says, I love colors too. I just don't put them together well for myself. That's all right. You guys still look good on screen, so it doesn't matter. You putting something together. Blind Guy, his wife. JP, the Inspiring Matriarch, says, thank you for the shout out. I was just complaining today that I didn't want to be the woman with the crying channel, but I'm a mother and my emotions are my super strength. And yeah, I mean, to me, JP, it made it more like relatable. And I think that's the thing we have like as a culture, men and women, but especially the Black women. I think we're supposed to be, we have this stigma that we're so super strong that it really takes away the humanness of you being a human and having emotions. And when you said it, I mean, as a mother, I felt you. Like I felt like, is this like the stage reality television, because like you, the way you were expressing yourself and it just came natural. I think that's what's missing in the world and missing in these YouTube streets and missing in reality of what we really have to deal with in life, guys. We're really dealing with a lot of stuff. And no, I didn't feel like you were emotional. It's funny how you said that. I don't want to cry again. Every video I have on my face, I'm crying. But um, I think that is the reality of us as humans. We go through emotions. It is what it is. Blind guy, his wife, their life. Yes, thanks for the love. Oh, of course, always. You guys always shout me out. This is a community. This is how we build. We build one person at a time, and I'm understanding from the role models of you guys showing and doing what you say. Talking like you walk it. All right, guys, so let's get into this conversation. I really wanted to have this conversation, especially listening to the last and being on the panel on the lead attorney's lives, the last couple interesting lives that he had. He had Anton, I don't remember his last moniker, but if you search him, he's a black guy on YouTube, and he talks about his morals, his values, him being married to his wife 17 years. And we had a discord back and forth about people's lives, their lifestyles. Who should I listen to? I know the biggest thing in the chat on the lead attorney's chat was people were saying, we agree with what Anton's saying, but he's telling people to be like him. And a lot of people were saying the other man they was talking, Lupito, I think his name was, they were saying that he has a right to have his own lifestyle. And he was basically saying you choose what you want to do. So it was kind of a juxtaposition of the two sides of it. And I thought that'd be interesting to talk about. Who should you listen to? Who should you get advice from? And is it warranted, merited? And how is that advice going to help moving forward? And then how do we talk to each other? How do we learn how to actually actively talk and listen a conversation? Because a lot of people have conversations and it's really not anything except them bolstering their projection and opinion about what the topic is. And you really didn't even ask them. They just are giving it to you without it being wanted. So I want to discuss that, how you deal with that. This is something that I've helped many adults and students with, adults, kids. I'm an educator, so I deal with the concept of being able to talk to mitigate a situation, to be able to find two polar opposite situations, and to be able to bring it to agree to disagree where there's not discord. And I think that's really important in our community. So I want to talk about that. Anton Daniels and Lucario. Thank you, JP. Lucario was his name. Good. So let's get into it. Should we listen to unwarranted advice? I want you guys to respond and let me know. Should we listen? Should you listen to, let's focus on one thing at a time. These different gurus, our YouTube gurus, what do you guys think? Do you think we should be listening to people that give us these different anecdotal things to do? Or should credentials matter? And when I say credentials, I mean, should I listen to a person that is about marriage advice? Should I listen to a person that is actively married to this advice? Or should I listen to a licensed marriage therapist about the advice? That's kind of the edge that I'm going with. Should I listen to somebody that's actually living that experience? Or should I listen to somebody that is credentialed and licensed? Because, you guys, you could have a therapist. I hope I'm not struggle streaming. If I am, y'all know how it is in these streets. But you can have a therapist that can be a marriage licensed therapist, but they've never been married. And they have a say on what you should do with your life, but they don't have the experience. They have the education maybe, but not the experience. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about that. Monogamous millionaire versus polymonaires millionaire. Both may be too far removed from the very everyday reality to be giving advice. And see, that's the thing. That's what kind of me reading the chat and just kind of listening, what kind of was a turnoff. With the Anton Daniels, some of his core values I'm in agreement with. Being a married woman, married to one person. We want to be married the rest of our lives together. That's our goal together, and we're working towards that. And that's what our end goal is, beginning and middle. Okay, so we're on the same board with that. But the simple fact that, okay, you're doing this, but you have on, well, it's not even that he had it on, guys. I don't have a problem with him wearing the designer clothes. It's that, like, I feel like you might think that those designer clothes make you, and because you have the designer clothes, I aspire for that picturesque. I need to look like this to entail get the wife for 17 years, get the money, get the accolades. I think that was totally off, and I think that's what made it twisted. And if the Lucario guy could have worded himself better, he could have played that route. Instead of him just looking like a true okey doke. But you know what, guys? I don't think it was good to just for Anton to just throw jabs at him, because you're not getting him to listen, which hence going into this conversation about how to actively get advice from somebody and then being able to receive and have a discussion instead of just throwing shots, calling people names. I think the biggest thing where he kept talking, I'm totally not in agreement. And I was on that live yesterday, and I said that at the beginning. I'm not in agreement with that lifestyle. But yeah, and still, you're not going to sway anybody from anything if you just keep calling them names and you keep saying what they're doing is wrong and what I'm doing is right. That was totally just ridiculous. But once again, the guy couldn't really justify why Lucario couldn't really justify what he was doing. So it made it easy for Daniels. It made it easy for him to just come in like a whale and just take over the conversation. Let's see, blind guy, his wife, their life. Understanding how to research is critical in the advice process. What are people's sources of info? Experience, books. And see, that's the main thing that I think they get us every time, the Black culture, Black people. So I'm going to go from topic to topic on this. Okay, so let's stick with Umar Johnson. Hopefully everybody in the chat knows who Umar Johnson is. The biggest thing with Umar, which is kind of what happens for us, is like a rush of excitement when people, sorry, I got struggle streaming. There's a rush of excitement when people hear about a concept, an ideal. I want to help kids. I want to make a difference for our community. I think in principle, what Umar Johnson was trying to do was correct and great. And if you don't work in the school system, in schools, public school, private school charter, you really don't know about budgeting and how much it takes to run a school. And really, to run a schools, I've looked at budgets before. They're in over millions for just like one school, guys. So he was correct in saying he did need to raise a certain amount of money just to even get the school off the ground, because there's so many technical things into budgeting a school. Nobody would ever know. None of you would know unless you seen the budget of a school, especially a public school or even a private school. It's very expensive. You can't just get $100,000 and just open one unless it's like a one building school and you're one teacher. It's a lot of money that goes into education to run it correctly. But the bad part about that is I think he got so full of himself because people in the Black community kept upping. Oh, this is our leader. This is the person we want. He's giving us advice. And then I think his whole ideal of how he was responding, I think he calls himself the king of Pan-Africa or whatever. It's like, what do you need another label for? You already getting the accolades that you need. I think it went to his head, and then it just perverted the whole situation of him trying to raise money for kids. And then hence we don't see a school yet. I think now I did see a picture. I think he has a school in Connecticut though now, but sometimes it's just like you don't understand what really goes into that. And I'm in agreement with what he was trying to do, which is what he was trying to do was he was trying to help our Black kids. He was trying to get Black people to understand and to know this. And you don't know unless you work in education, let it be higher education or primary education or in K through 12, or you work in colleges. You don't know kind of those things from the outside looking in. And for him being a higher educated person working in public school, being a principal, he's seen it. So he knows exactly what goes into that. But yet and still, I think he finessed. He played, I ain't going to use my word. He played the community in the sense that he didn't explain to the community what it takes to build a school. You just said, I need to raise money and do it because we're Black, and we need to do it because we're Black. That's the thing that gets our community so bad. People tell you to do it because you're Black. And then you don't use a little reasoning, common sense to research something. As blind guy, his wife, their life was saying, you have to look into it, the data, the books. You have to see and reference where I'm getting this advice from. So to me, speaking on both ends of it, because I worked education, I know what it takes for a school. I could understand where he was coming from, and I could see the disconnect where people were like, "Well, you got this much money, why didn't you start the school?" Because it costs a lot of money to start a school. And don't get me wrong, I don't know, he might have did some other things with that money, but it costs a lot of money to start the school, and then all the things it takes to run a school yearly. It's very, very expensive, guys. Very expensive. JP the Spy Matriarch says, true. Blind guy, his wife, their life. I want to provide citations in my description or links to articles. So we have to show it's more than our opinion. So I show examples of researching in the stream. And that's good, JP. And that's really good because, like I said, with me and like I teach people all the time, especially my students, like, it's not true, guys, unless you can prove it. If you have data to prove what you're saying, then it's true. That's why a lot of times I like to show you guys videos of what I'm talking about, or if I can catch it, I'll try to attach it. But yeah, it's really important because, but then again, JP, you would think people would look at it to reference it, but they don't. Sometimes they just want to take it out of the horse's mouth. JP is fine. Make sure she says he has 2 buildings in with Delaware. He will be having a birthday party there on 9/11. And you know what, guys? Even though everybody was knocking him, I felt really empowered for him in that moment because I know how much it costs to start a school. I think the biggest thing with Umar is he was expecting the Black community to donate everything, not realizing that the bulk of the Black community, the other 90%, doesn't really have money. Like, if we go into the data, this is statistics, you can Google it and look it up. Liquid American Black households are worth $200 liquid. And when I say that, that means not that you don't have a $250,000 house, $250,000 house, not that you don't have 2 cars in the garage, not that you don't have a 401k. We're talking about liquid money. When you take everything you owe, which is liabilities, and you minus it from the assets, all the things that you have, how much money do you have liquid? We don't have a lot of liquid money, period, guys. So it was tough for him because the people that were wanting to help him were the regular Black people. You didn't see a lot of the big famous Black people donating money to help him. So if he would have got maybe that group, he might have got what he needed. But you were depending on the smaller people to help you, and they didn't really have much to help you with. So, it was a catch-22. So I thought the name calling was interesting without bringing receipts. Lucario wound up bringing a lot of receipts once he started explaining. Yeah, he went into explaining, and that's why I said I respect that he sat there that whole time. Because what he could have did is he could have just been like, man, I'm done, and clicked off like a lot of people do, especially males. He could have just clicked off and said, whatever. Hey, Abby Stalker Mom, hello. Hello, glad you can join the family. Thank you for coming. But yeah, he could have just dropped off, but he held his ground, and that was admirable for him because, like I said, I think that was a good 30 minutes. I don't know how long that was, guys. It felt like forever. Like I had left, went and did something, came back, looked, then left again, ran some errands, cooked, came back again, and it was still on. So, yeah, I mean, that was what worked for him. I'm not in agreement to what he was doing, but that doesn't matter. It's what, like he said, I like the way he worded that. He said, I'm not telling you to do what I'm doing. I'm telling you to do what works for you. And that was kind of the opposite of what Anton was saying. He was saying, be like me, do like me. And anybody with a free thinking mind is going to be like, what are you talking about? Even if you agree with Anton's message, you're going to be like, ooh, that's like, it doesn't make you want to receive the message. Okay. And that's what we're going to get into today also with the advice. How are you giving the advice? How is it being portrayed to the person? Are you actually paying attention to what that person needs in that moment instead of you just dominating that situation? Let's see. Blind guy, his wife, their life. Yep, that's why we share our share and drop so many links into the chat for people to have a starting place. Then they can support a wide perspective at JP Aspiring Matriarch. Yes, and you guys have been in the game. So it's so good when you can do that, when you can actively, as the person is talking, you can put the information in, people can just go in and out and check, because that is kind of what our reality is today. It's very fast and quick. It's very, I need to see it right now. And for those that do receive the information and actually, I guess you could say fact check it, then it makes it more receivable to others, because then I can take it, fact check it, and send it out and share it and pass it along. And it's something that can be justified, put it that way. It's something very justifiable. So I like I said, I enjoyed the whole, well, what I caught, because I was going in and out. It was very long. I did enjoy the fact that the guy didn't just jump off the string, because he could have. Everybody in the chat was hammering him. Anton was he was double dutching. And I know, guys, I have a degree in psychology. So what Anton was doing was pure just emotional psychology. It was, he was playing, basically playing emotional double dutch with him. So he was really, just like the lead attorney said, he was setting the guy up to say something to make him look unjustifiable. And it takes a lot. This is why, if you're an active listener, if you listen to people more, you are going to be better in a situation, in a conversation, than somebody that's quick to talk. Because some people will just talk themselves in a circle. They will talk themselves into exactly what you said that they said, or you can get them to agree with you by just kind of being quiet and letting them talk, because they're trying to manipulate the situation to get you to agree to what they're saying. All right. So, Blind Guy, his wife, their life, says hi to Abby Stalker Mom, showing her love. Guys, make sure you guys check out Abby Stalker Mom's channel. She is a mom to a cute little boy, and she does fitness on her channel, and she inspires us women, Black women, and she talks about what she's going through in that channel, and she does a lot of videos, kind of like HIIT training to get you in, knock it out, do your little exercising, and be done for the day. So check out Abby Stalker Mom also, guys. JP Expiring Matriarch says, at Abby Stalker Mom, how's that after workout glow treating your spirit? And Abby's saying to JP, she's doing good and she's giving thanks. And she's saying hi to Blind Guy, his wife, their life. So that's really important, guys, too. We got to make sure that we are getting our bodies right, too, getting fitness, getting advice. If you need help with fitness also, too, I'm going to start adding that to my channel, also showing you guys kind of that journey, speaking about how we need to be eating and actually getting that exercise in, guys, okay? So let's go back, get my notes together. Let's go back. So, guys, we were discussing, should we be listening to unwarranted advice, all right? And we were talking in the chat, should it be somebody credentialed, or does it not matter if you have a degree? And we're going to take into account the two different situations, all right? So let's say a coach may say, be free, but attorney may say, no, that's not good for business. So if you're dealing with I don't know, a coach just kind of helping you with your business, and they're like, just give it to them, offer that for free. But if you're dealing with another perception, or somebody with credentials with money, like an attorney or maybe like a CPA would tell you, no, you don't need to do that. You need to mark that down, because that's going to be like a tax write-off. So you can't do it for free, because we need to show that we're spending money, assets and liabilities. All right. So another thing we want to get into, guys, is experience more important than credentials? What do you guys think? Is experience more important than credentials? All right. I know, guys, when I was looking through this information, kind of researching what I've seen about experience and credentials, I heard a doctor, her name was Dr. Golan, and she said, when you give advice, it's about you. So this was really profound to me. So I want you guys to see if this is what you do when you give advice. She says, if you give advice, it's about you, not the other person. She says, psychologically, you try to feel better. And she says that it's really not even about the person. So I want you guys to think about the last time you gave somebody advice. Was that advice really for that person? Or was it really about your morals, your view, your standards on how you perceive the situation? I thought that was really profound, because when you think about it, guys, a lot of times when you hear somebody talking, you're so ready to give your response. Sometimes you can't even hold your mouth shut to let them finish. Or you're just excited about what they're talking about, or you are having contention, which means you disagree with what they're talking about. So a lot of times it's your natural innate behavior is for you to say what you feel and project your feelings on them. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that you give advice for you, or do you give advice for the other person that you're trying to help? Also, while I'm waiting for that response, just so you guys know, guys, they said human instinct is to fix the uncontrollableness of something. So our natural instinct isn't really to help a person. Our natural instinct really isn't to give the best sound advice for that person. Our instinct is to fix it. So, and we're fixing it from our perception. We're fixing it from what we think will work. We're not really trying to understand the other person, and we're not really trying to figure out if that advice I'm giving is suitable for the person that I'm giving it to. Okay, JP says both. Can you elaborate for me, JP? Or just give us an experience of where you felt like, or give us an experience, because I think it's hindsight, guys. When you get an epiphany about something, or when you really are actively listening and you find that, oh wow, this is what I did. Hindsight, you're like, okay, I'm going to change, and that's why I think it's so important for conversations, especially even with people you disagree with. I love it. My whole thing when I'm talking to somebody is understanding. Yes, if I'm passionate about something, I will talk about that. I will stand my ground on that. But what I won't do is I will not demolish another person's perception of what they're saying, because this is how you get a rapport with people. They don't have to agree with you, but if you can build a rapport where you're respectful with a person, they will go they will do backflips for you. Even if they don't agree with you or like the things you're saying, is such a strong respect that you don't know what you would need that person for in the future, where they will stand up for you and help you. And I've had that happen many times in my life. I can speak on that so well, to where a person might not agree with what I said, but because of the respect I projected, because of the positive energy, because of the atmosphere of the conversation, or the advice that I gave, it was taken so well that person was like, oh wow, I didn't see it that way. Now I have an understanding. So if I hear it and I don't agree with it, but I understand why you say that, it's just such a better rapport to have with people. And I think that's really what's missing in the Black community. That's why I really want to have this conversation. We're so ready to do this back and forth ratchet stuff. We're so ready to cancel each other. We're so ready to call each other out of our names because we don't agree, that it makes us having a conversation with each other just turn horrible. It makes conversations when we disagree, it makes it like a crab in the bucket situation, to where if we would just calm ourselves and actually actively listen instead of progressively wanting to get our opinion across, that would be waves in our community. And I think that's where we need to start. We need to have conversations with people that are not like us in our community and understand why they do what they do. Because a lot of times, guys, it just takes understanding. If I know I'm doing something wrong, but I don't know why I'm doing something wrong, and somebody is not coming at me with the same regard as somebody they respect, then I'm not changing what I'm doing at all. I'm never going to change it. But if you come at me and you listen to me and you understand why I feel what I feel, and you let me know that back, and then again you maybe ask me, so you feel this way because of this. All right, I understand why you feel that way. This is what I feel. Just like an active conversation. And I think that's so foreign now, because everybody's so quick to get online and say what they want to say. And they feel like what they have to say is so important that they could really not care what other people are saying. And it's necessary. You need to have the two sides of things. You need to see the good and the bad, the pretty and the ugly. It's so necessary, guys, because then how can you honestly make a well-versed decision, or how can you conceive something if you don't know both sides of it? You can't. you're working off of a bias because you don't really know both sides of it. Going back to the advice, is it okay for somebody to give you advice if they, number one, have never experienced it, or number two, are not working in maybe the credentials of that whatever that ideal is that you need help with? Let's see. JP the Inspiring Matriarch says, I believe we recognize in others the things we need to work on in us. That is key. And that's what like I said, what that doctor said. She said, we give it, the advice that you give is about you. It's not the other person. Psychologically, it's you trying to feel better. So JP, you hit the nail on the head and you basically proved what I said earlier. Once again, JP says, I believe we recognize in others the things we need to work on in ourselves. Yeah. And it's like a red siren just ringing and loud. And so when you see, I guess you can say maybe the things you need to work on, or you see the things that you want to change in another person, it's like you're screaming out to it. And this is why there's so much contention. This is why you're so quick to say something about it, because it's really something subconsciously you need to work on. Good point, JP. Blind Guy, his wife, their life says, now that I'm older, I've realized that experience beats credentials 9 times. Yes, it really does. It really does. It beats credentials 9 times out of 10. Credentials are useful for context, but experience has the common sense that credentials just doesn't. And that's what's so interesting about it, guys. It's so interesting to me how people will make the active choice to listen to somebody or something that is not proven or versed, or they will just actively listen, maybe because they like that person. So I can't knock that, because, like I said, I know that my personality is one that I get attention from people. So I can use the personality to help encourage people. But some people use the positiveness of their voice, the personality, to really manipulate and use people. And that's another thing, like I wanted to discuss with our community too. The sense of he's the brother because he's my same color, so I'm just gonna do what he says, and us not actively using wisdom to discern, like, okay, is this person really about my culture, about me trying to help us as a collective, or are they trying to bring themselves up monetarily or bring themselves up aesthetically to make themselves feel good? I think that we need to definitely, what's the word I'm looking for? We need to definitely discern that in people. We need to definitely try people. As scripture will say, try the spirits. You need to make sure that you are not just openly, blindly led to something, and you have not, as the people in the chat said, tried and true it, checked it out, fact check it, make sure it works. I think it's really important to listen to or find people that you want to be like. So, if you're trying to, I don't know, start a business or something, you don't want to be around people that keep saying it'll never work, or you don't want to be around people that haven't started a business. You might need to go find somebody, even if it's out of your comfort zone. Go get advice for somebody that's done it. And it might be something that's a toil for you or you don't like, but you need to step out of that to get what you want. And a lot of people do not want to do that. They just want to hear what somebody says, and it's kind of like a feel-good thing. I want to feel good, but I'm not actively working to change myself. And I think that's the downfall of our culture, is that we are not really working to change ourselves in a sense. We're so stuck in this rut, and we're so downtrodden because we're told this is all we're going to be and do. And we're shown it, manipulated on TV with our children. It's manipulated on in music. There's so much manipulation going on that a lot of us are not saying, hey, hold, pump your brakes. This is not what I'm about. This is not my value. Somebody's putting this ideal in me. I don't want to receive it. Instead of just saying, yep, this is who we are. This is what we do. We'll never be anything. We got to walk around half naked to get attention. We got to be loosey-goosey and just spread our seed to everybody. And that's not a shot on anybody that has done it. It's just, once you know better, do better. And that's really what I'm trying to push. Once you know better, do better. But people don't know better, guys, unless we take the time to mentor and show acceptance as far as elders, to work with people and let them know in love that this is not going to work. And with your experience, our experience, this is what worked for me. And show it. Show a proven method of it. And it might not work for everybody. We know that there's outliers. It's not going to work, but there's always a method that you can follow to get towards a goal. And it has to be something that everybody's working with as far as a goal. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Okay, JP Inspiring Matriarch says, right, blind guy, his wife, their life. Credentials can be bought as well. Yep, they sure can, JP Inspiring Matriarch. Just like all these famous people are getting these honorary doctorates and all this other. I still don't understand that. What's the point of it? You know how hard it is to get a doctorate? I got a master's. So just giving somebody a doctorate, it makes it it doesn't make it what's the word? Credential, reputable. What's the point then? If you just give somebody because they have money and they're famous and they have accolades, a doctorate, it makes it pointless. And then guys, just going to what's going on nowadays as far as like electronics, STEM, technology. A lot of these jobs, guys, all you need to do is kind of get a certification or go take some training classes for maybe a year or just apprentice them. And then you can get a higher paying job than anybody that's credentialed. So I know that's something that us as a community definitely need to get our kids involved in. Even if you don't know if they like it or not, but you have to expose kids to it. You have to expose kids to different things. And I think we don't realize a lot of our kids will love STEM. They would love computer IT. They would love coding. They would love agriculture, learning plumbing, air conditioning, electricity, all that. Our kids their minds are so like vast and awesome, but we don't expose them to that type of stuff because we're thinking, oh, well, they just need to go to college. No, they don't. All kids don't need to go to college. Or, oh, they need to what's the other thing? We need to go to college. Or, oh, they need to be a lawyer, doctor, those type of jobs that everybody wants. And all of our kids, they might not all need to be lawyer, doctor, all those things, but they could be really good at a trade. And if you think about it, guys, that's kind of what our premise and our base comes from. We were smart too, slaves, because if you guys don't know history of slavery, you can fact check this too, because I study this stuff, but I love talking about this stuff. So if you study history and slavery with the black slaves that came to the Americas, and I think the Caribbean, but I know about the Americas, the black slaves that came here, guys, they weren't just picking slaves. They weren't just picking people running around with bones in their nose and half naked. No, they look for the skilled people. Because think about it. It wouldn't make sense just to bring a slave over here. You need to bring a slave that knows about agriculture. You need to bring a slave that knows about building and machinery. You need to bring somebody that knows about hunting. You need somebody that knows these things to help you. Because what's the point of bringing somebody that's ignorant and not smart with you? You won't get anything except an ignorant, not smart person that can't do any type of job. So they got the best of the best people. They were skilled artisans. They were traders. They were hunters. They were farmers and growers, all kind of people. Okay. And when they brought them here, they took everything away. So their lifestyle of what they had was, except knowing how to do the different jobs they did, was taken away. So there's your quick history moment right there. Let's see. Let's see. Credentials, common sense. All right. JP says, right, blind guy, his wife, their life. Credentials can be bought. We talked about that. In the Middle East, they have a big problem with fake degrees, and the government is on it. Oh, okay, that's interesting. JP says that there's having an issue in the Middle East about that. I know a lot of those Middle Eastern people come here and do what? Tech jobs here. Okay, they can even get visas to come here just to work and do tech. Is that crazy, isn't it, guys? Like, we can't even get our own people here, Americans, and even deeper than that, the Black Americans here to do those type of jobs and learn that. But they will outsource them from other countries. So I did not know that, JP. Blind guy, his wife, the life says, active listening is one of those things that credentials can help you with. But when we need advice, we also to learn to give the details of what we need. That's true. And that's what I was talking about when I talked about active listening. Like, when you're listening for purpose instead of just listening to say what you want to say, you will find, in what I was doing, studying, and even with my degree in psychology, the longer you let somebody talk, guys, they're going to tell you everything. So that's why it is really important. Listening is not really about the talking part of it. It's really just letting the other person say what they have to say. Because once that person really gets it all out, a lot of times, guys, they can answer their own problem. It's just a matter of they wanted to vent and talk and get it out. So when you jump in haphazardly to give advice to somebody and they are either not asking for it, or it comes off because you're maybe dealing with some personal issues yourself that you don't like about yourself, and or you just are in you're not in agreement with what they're doing. You are quick to give off advice that's not warranted. So that's, like I said, something I definitely want to touch base on, because I think um, we all have been ones to do this, but the more you learn that to speak and have conversations with people, active conversations, I think that is a start to help definitely our culture, the Black culture, get to a better space and place, because we're all so different, and we need to be able to talk and feel safe with each other to say things, and also be able to reprieve, which means we need to be able to let somebody know if they're wrong, but lovingly, instead of calling them dumb or stupid or why are you doing that? It's weird. Nobody's going to receive that. So we have to be able to know how to talk to each other, guys. Let's see. Okay, blind guy, he's walked alive. Shucks, we're buying degrees here in the States too. Yeah, exactly. We seen what went on. What's that lady's name? Lori Laughlin or whatever. People with money, they're just doing, and that's why I said it takes the value away from even going to school and college. It takes it away, because then if you can just have money and go buy it, what's the point? Or you can be famous or athlete or somebody, and somebody gives you an honorary doctorate. What is the point anymore? Especially nowadays. That's just my view on it. Nowadays, I think you should just learn a trade. I think our kids should learn trades and technology, because that's what the whole world is turning to. I don't care what you think or what you don't want to receive. Everything is going to turn to X and O's and digital money, everything, guys. And you need to research that if you don't know. Research the blockchain, NFT, having the digital web what's it called, web browsers. I actually have one where it's digital, so you guys need to make sure you research that, because the more that we want to buck against things and we don't know about it, the more we're going to fall behind in all this stuff, because this is just how everything is slowly changing. I know you guys know, like, it's so funny when they start sending those credit cards with the chip in it. You guys should have seen me. I was like, I'm not using this. I used to just leave the card at the house somewhere locked up. I'm not taking this around, because they're probably like scanning, following where I'm going or something. And then eventually they keep sending you a card, and now all the cards, like, you can't, there's no other card. You know, it used to be like an option for that year when they were figuring out how that chip worked. But it's like you see how subliminally things are changed to where it's just, they slowly, like a frog in hot water, slowly keep turning that temperature up, to where, like, now you're doing things and you're just like, man, I just said I wouldn't do this, and now look at my situation. Okay, and a blind guy who's walked alive says no holds barred anywhere these days at JP Inspiring Matriarch. That's true. That's so true, guys. JP Inspiring Matriarch says, right, blind guy, his wife, their life. I know someone who actually put a fake degree on. Listen, JP, they've been doing that since the beginning. People are always apt to want to look better than what they are. But really what's sad is you feel like a degree makes you. You feel like joining the club makes you. And that's the issue with the psyche. I gotta get deep into my psychology. But anyways, that's the issue with the psyche. It takes a long time for adults to just struggle, stream, and start. It takes a long time for adults to love themselves and love the fact of who you are in the space you're at. We feel like we have to gain these accolades and gain these things to be our best person or to be accepted by others. And I tell my students this, adult students and kids, I said, when you guys get to the point where you don't care, right there, that is just your counseling psychology session that I could charge you guys $250 an hour for. You have to learn to love yourself and not care what people think. And that's so hard in this digital world, in this social media world. But it is such peace when you figure out how to do it, because you know that there's limits to what you will and won't do, number one. Number two, you'll have a peace even in the midst of seeing other people rising or other people getting something. You know, whatever's meant for you is meant for you. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I have to do this to be seen. Like a lot of these entertainers, especially these women, I feel so sad looking at some of these artists, music artists. the advice that they're getting. I feel so sad for them because I know a lot of them do not want to jump up on the stage half naked. I know a lot of them know morally you don't want to be perceived that way. I know when you're younger coming up, you like to kind of show yourself. You like to not have on clothes. I think that's the phase that you go through as a young woman. Like you like the attention. But as you mature and get older and you understand that respect factor, you know why people are looking at you when you're like that. It's not because they think your eyes are pretty. So I think it's more of a intellectual understanding and wisdom that you know better. You do better when you know better. All right. And I just for them, I hate that their psyche has gotten so taken over that they feel like they need to jump around half naked, no clothes on, exposing themselves to get the attention. And it's not even good attention because most of the people looking at you are like perverts, like most of them. So it's like you're getting all this negative energy in the midst of you thinking you're famous and you're, important, but it's negativeness that's coming. So it's horrible that they feel like they have to do that. But hey, somebody's watching them. So it's not like they're doing it and the record companies aren't exposing this because people won't look. People are looking and buying and liking. So we got to look back, reflect at ourselves. Why are we doing this as a culture and a people? Why is it acceptable? Why are we not sticking up? Our leaders, our men and our women, why are we not sticking up saying we're not for this and you're not going to put this on our children? That's the question, dealing with advice and should we be listening to this advice? Or about jobs and education. Let's see. Yep, the best of the best were the original advisors historically. That's the best education because you learn hands-on from experience, people and no fake degrees. And you know what, Blind Guy and his wife, their life, it's so funny if when you think about it, how that has changed. Because when you go back, even when my mother's brothers and sisters, they were born between the 40s and the 50s. So even going back then, when you see it was always like hands-on, it was apprenticeship. It wasn't really school. I don't believe schools really started. I mean, you had colleges in the 1900s, but the public school system, I believe that started in the 30s or 40s. I have to research that again. But even the institution of school, when you go back hundreds and hundreds of years, it wasn't an institution like that. It was something where you apprentice, you went off and you work with somebody a year to 5 years, you learned the trade, you did it, and then you passed it on. And I really wish we would go back to that as a community. Like really stop being selfish and take the education and experience and the nuggets we have and give that to the youth and or to anybody that wants to receive it. Okay. And I have no problem with you monetizing or the skill and trade that you have that is a blessing to others, being able to create a way to receive money from it. But yet still, I think there's always a side to that where you should want to give to people too and help bring them up, because if those people you bring up, they're going to come back and do for you. It's cyclical. I know that doing and helping people and giving, once you do it turns back around, especially if you're doing it for the right reason. So you should never feel afraid to want to go out and help people and do things for other people. Let's see. The best. Yep. Okay. Blind Guy, his wife, their life. They wanted to literally get their money's worth when buying the fake degrees at JP the Aspiring Matriarch. Yeah. And to me, I don't even understand like how somebody would even want. How do you feel good about yourself? Like, that's a value that we teach our kids. Like, you guys will feel like super better when you work to get what you want and, have them work instead of just buying them the video game. No, they earn it. Like, it's nothing. You just get it because you're my child and you can have what you want. No, I want you to go and do these things. And I want you to know that it's a process, because when you do it and earn it with your own money, you're going to take care of it more. It's going to mean something more to you. And I think, like I said, it's something dealing with the psyche of, American capitalism. You feel like if you have enough money, you can buy what you want. And that's kind of what happens here in America. But, is it justifiable? Is it right? Is the question. Is it justifiable? Is it right? Should it be done? And then it diminishes the value of things. The simple fact that you're going to college, and they said the price of college has increased so much. It's ridiculous. What's the point? Like, why am I paying $50,000, $100,000 a year when back maybe 15, 20 years ago, that was a cost maybe for 4 years, maybe to even get the graduate degree. Like, that was a total cost. So it's such a business of siphoning money. That are you really learning what you need to get out of that degree and to be somebody productive in society? Really important questions. All right. Let's go into also, guys, when you're some key points said, I want to highlight event. So that's a very important point. When you're dealing with people and somebody's trying to talk to you, you need to because a lot of times, guys, 9 out of 10 people are just it's just struggle streaming. I don't know what's going on, guys. I had to see, check my router and the Wi-Fi. I should have probably connected to the router, but struggle streaming real. Go to the rest of my notes. All right, so how to handle the conversation. When we're dealing with advice, guys, we talked about getting advice. Is it warranted to get the advice from somebody that's credentialed or not? How should you handle taking advice from your job, for relationships, from different situations? Should you take advice or not? We discussed that. That was a really good conversation on that, guys. So I do appreciate everybody being active in the conversation. How to handle the conversation. So it says disagree when you wait. Disagree when you want to make them. Oh yeah. So basically, in the conversation, guys, once you get to disagreeing with a person, it makes them not even want to listen to you in the conversation. So that's why we can see that live when we're looking at different lives and we're looking at people when they're bringing people up. You can feel the energy and you can hear like the hotness and negativity with people when they feel like you're not listening to them. You just want to disagree with them. When the advice is not being taken and received, because like I said, people a lot of times they do not want to hear your opinion about something. They just want to vent. So, and a lot of times, like I said before, we have to realize that when we are giving advice, a lot of times we are giving advice to make us feel good. You're not really taking into account that person and how they receive that advice. You're not taking into account that person, and if the values that you have are relevant to what the values that person has is, because all advice is not going to work with the same people. There's some general principles, yes, that will work. But this is why you have to hear everybody's situation out, because all advice is not the same. And we know that, especially if you work around people or you deal in an environment where you teach or you're an educator, or you work in an environment around people, sales, retail, all those things. We know that the advice is not warranted all the time, especially if you don't understand where that person is coming from. Also, guys, make sure you guys like, and share and subscribe. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you guys know when I come on live. I'm trying to do more lives and be more active in that into my busy schedule. If you didn't know, I was a new mom. So I have a lot of juggling around to do, but I do want to make sure that I'm committed and I get to a lot of the questions that are being asked. Also, if there is something that you want me to review or research, because I've had a couple people send me topics that I've done, you guys can send that to me, email me, or put it in the chat, and I will do my best to get that information out. Also, guys, make sure that you guys are checking. I try to at least every 2 days do little motivational shorts for you guys to watch, to keep you encouraged every day, to keep you guys inspired, because I know in all this negativity, sometimes you just need a positive word, and you need to see somebody encouraging and smiling, and somebody that you know is honest and real. So that is what I also try to do. I try to put up little motivational shorts for you guys to play and play again if you need to keep you guys motivated daily, because we're all going through different things at different times, guys. Let's see. Also, I did a video, guys, on 2021 food shortage and supplies. So make sure you guys check that out too, because that one is really, Really, really important. I talk about different regions and what shortages are happening. Some shortages you might have never thought about. Let you know what you need to do, what you need to go buy. So make sure you guys check out that video also. All right, so let's get back to our topic. Knowledge and experience, guys. Let's get to the notes. So let's talk about the different. Oh, let's see. Oh, they want to let me go. Okay. All right. So another topic, guys, is let's talk about solutions. Solutions. Okay, blind guy, his wife, their life. I do try to stay positive by seeing it from the person's perspective that I'm advising or getting advice from. It helps to keep the lines of communication open instead of getting that stuck. And that's a good point. I was going to turn back around and get into that blind guy, his wife. The biggest problem with us as a people is we are very caught in our emotions. But you know what, guys? The juxtaposition of that is we are such a loving, giving people, and we are very unapologetically forgiving. But we can be on the very end of that spectrum too, as far as like when we're mad at each other, like we no holds barred that. So it is very important. I'm telling you guys, it's going to make life better. You need to subscribe to what I'm saying, because if you don't work this, it won't work. If you keep doing what you're doing and you wondering why everybody does not like being around you, and whenever you talking to people that doing something like that face, or you're just not getting received well, it might be kind of how you're talking and how you are dealing with people and how you project yourself on other people, especially in conversations. So it's really important to actually practice talking with people. It is important to actively listen, which means instead of being ready to jump in and say something, let the person finish venting. A lot of times when people are talking, guys, they're not all the way done. They just want to talk and talk and talk till they get it out. And then once they're finished, you ask them, or you say, what you're going through, that was horrible. I hate you went through that. Did you want my advice, or are you just venting? I think if we did that a lot of conversations would not turn emotional and left, because we assume that somebody wants our advice, and a lot of times they really don't. And you have to respect that if they don't want it. But it is okay to keep coming back to that person and listening, because what's going to happen is they're going to start to have a rapport and a respect that you listen and honor their opinion, and they will be more open to receive what you say because you showed a level of respect each time they talk to you. And then it's much easier for them to receive what you're giving as far as advice, instead of you just assuming that you're right and you know exactly what they need to do, when a lot of times they haven't told you the full story. They told you what they want you to know. You let them talk enough, you get the full story as far as advice, and then you know how to advise somebody. All right. Let's see. I do try staying positive by seeing it from the person's perspective that I'm advising or getting advice from. It helps me. Oh, I already read that. Okay. JP the Spy Matriarch says, I just realized I force love on people. Ooh, that's a good epiphany. We're gonna stay on that one. Let me finish your whole thought though. JP the Spy Matriarch says, I just realized I force love on people. I won't get off the call or let them leave home without saying, I love you, and they can't say goodbye. It is a defense mechanism from losing so many people and unfair to those around me. I literally smother them with love. Wow. That is a great epiphany. Let me read that again before we dissect that. I want to read that one more time for everybody to hear that. Okay. This is JP, the Spy Matriarch. She says, I just realized. And I want you guys to think about it for a second, what she says, and say if you agree or disagree with her. But I want to, in the chat, in the comments too. But let me read that again. She says, I just realized I force love on people. I won't get off the call. So she's talking about when she's on the telephone talking to people. She says, I won't get off the call or let them leave home without saying, I love you, and they can't say goodbye. So she's basically saying you're not saying goodbye. You're supposed to say, I love you. And for those that don't know, when you're saying goodbye, a lot of people look at that as kind of negative because you don't want to say goodbye because you want to have the aspiration that you'll see them again, or so you just say I'll see you later, or something in that sense instead of saying goodbye like it's over by. She says it is a defense mechanism from losing so many people, and she says she's come to the epiphany that it's unfair to those around me. She says, I literally smother them with love. All right. So do you guys think that's negative or positive? Because in a sense, I always do this, guys. I can see both sides of like every conversation, every situation. I can play devil's advocate in any situation because I can somehow my brain can see why both sides think it's correct. And unbiasedly, I can see the divide. I have my opinion about it, but I can always see both sides to things in every situation. Um, so what do you guys think about that? There's a good one in the comment section. I definitely want to hear what people have to say about that. One more time, let me read that again, because that one's kind of that's a breakthrough. She says, in her understanding, you might not agree with her, but that's what I want you to talk about. But she says, I just realized I force love on people. I won't get off the car or let them leave home without saying I love you. And I can't say goodbye. I understand you on that. It is a defense mechanism from losing so many people and unfair to those around me. I literally smother them with love. Okay, blind guy, his wife, their life says, do you want advice? Or yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The chat is listening to Miss B Finesse's advice. You ask people if they want the advice, are they venting? That's what I'm talking about, Black family. That is what I'm talking about. So let me read that again. Blind guy, his wife, their life says, do you want advice? Or are you just venting? And they're going back the whole hour conversation I've been having, trying to give you guys advice on how to have conversations with people, giving you advice on if the advice you're receiving is good or not. Is it warranted or not warranted? Should you receive it? And how to have a conversation with people. Okay, so they say, do you want advice? Are you venting? Say it loud for the people in the back. Don't force our advice on others. Thank you, blind guy, his wife, their life. JP the Spine Matrix says, and people accept it because who says no to love? Okay. Blind guy, his wife, their life says, it's good to recognize that love smothers. I think it's fine as long as you edit who you smother. So once again, I tell you guys, I can always see this from both sides. So let's play the opposite side of what JP's Brian Matriarch is saying. I can see it as when you force the love on somebody or you force them to receive love back. I can look at somebody that's like a habitual abuser. So we can look at that like somebody that is forcing themselves into somebody's life. I would akin this to a relationship, like a male-woman relationship where either the woman is over smothering, she wants to hang off the guy, she won't let him have guy time, she wants to be around him 24/7, she's crying if he doesn't answer the phone, or a male that is very dominating, which he says, like, you can't go anywhere, I want to know where you're at all the time, I want you to answer the phone when I call. That's a bad smother right there. Smothering with love. Smother with love, as far as on the opposite side, is sometimes that love is so needed and necessary that we don't realize it. I don't really believe if you're doing the good positive smother with love is never enough. I don't think you can over love somebody unless you go into the negative perverted side of it. But I think a true love for somebody, when you are truly doing things out of your heart and you overdo it out of your heart, I think you will always get a positiveness out of that. Even if it's the positiveness of that person saying, this is too much, I'm leaving, that was not worth your time. So there is the positiveness of that person was not meant for you, and that overlove that you have is meant for somebody else, if that makes sense to you guys. So with that being said, I think there's two sides to that. There's juxtaposition. I think you can smother in a negative way your love on somebody. And once again, this is when you have to see, is it warranted? Or going back into what JP, the Aspiring Matriarch, said, she had an epiphany. She said, I was doing this because of some internal things I was dealing with. So she could recognize that it was not a good it was a skewed way of love. It wasn't a natural love because you just are filled. It was an unfulfilled way to express your love. Unfulfilled way, okay? So I try to break that down. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. Let's see. Abby Stalker Mom says, "Sigh, I tend to smother." And she says, Abby Stalker Mom also says, "I am from one end of the spectrum to the next." And you know what? I think as women, and I'm not knocking the men, but I'm just speaking from my perspective because I'm a woman. I think us as women, I think it depends on the situation and what we're going through. I think if we have it in this and we're fulfilled and we're feeling good, taking care of our bodies, taking care of our minds, and we're in a high in our life, we will have the energy to smother. But I think as we hit the lows of our life, it will turn into that negative smother because it's a smother because we're empty. Does that make sense? Okay, so I think the natural smother is a fulfillment already. It is because I have my cup overflowed and full. I got so much extra I can give it. But the opposite spectrum of that love is I am a deficit. I'm missing. So since I am missing, I am trying to pull myself up. And in a sense, doing that, I am. It is not a pure love because I'm giving love because of a need, not because I have access and it's something I want to express. All right, hold on, guys. Wait. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. JP Aspiring Matriarch says, Abby Stalker Mom. She says, "It has been difficult to allow them to be the independent adults I raised them to be. Just because I expect them to move a certain way doesn't mean they are required to do so." Yeah. And that's why I'm taking this just from principles. Well, when we raise our children, they're never like ours forever. We're just there for purpose and we're there to guide them until adulthood. And then after that, we have to be able to release them and let them go and know that, okay, those principles, those values, let it be whatever you ascribe to, following the Messiah, following God, following whoever you feel like you ascribe to, then you have to know whatever you put in them is going to come back out. If you put those values in, and I know that it does, guys, once you set principles and values and once you live by a model to somebody or something, when it matters, it comes out. Okay, so they're going to be, as they become teenagers or adults, they're going to trial and error and do stupid stuff. We all did. So it's not, you cannot think, oh, I raised a perfect child, they're going to do perfect stuff. No, they're not, because you didn't. Okay, but you want to know that that child will not go to the edge of the ledge and fall over. You know that they will go and try and do certain things, but you want to know that what you put in that child will not make that child go over the edge. And that's what we have to do as adults, as for by example. All we can do is be an example. We have to trust that what we put in them is going to work and it's going to come up when it's necessary, or you will be stressed your whole life as a parent, because you cannot hold on to that in them like that, because they are their own individual. After the years that we raise them, 18, and then they go out into the world, you have to trust that you did what you needed to do. And when it matters, that child is going to make the right choice. Put it that way. All right. And that gives you a peace, because if you don't do it that way, you will just be so anxious. And why would you guys want to live life anxious about your child's choices? Because in the end, whatever they do is their consequence. The consequences will come back to you, except disrespect or am I struggling again? Okay. The consequences that come back to you physically, it's going to come back on them. Only thing consequence you'll feel is maybe disrespect or dishonor, but whatever's coming from whatever they did, the outcome, the consequences going back to them. So it's just something that you have to hope and want and pray that they do the right thing and that they change if they are stuck in something or some type of maybe addiction or anything that, will hold them back. We have to trust what we put in our kids will manifest. Let's see. Abby Stalker Mom says, so true to JP. Blind Guy, his wife, their life says, I love smother in various ways, but yep, I think it's a woman thing. Yeah, I mean, because it's just us. We're raised to be that way. We're made to be that way. We're made to be the lover in the family. We're made to be the one that rationally can deal with allocating love. All right. I think the male is the one that he analyzes and he's analytical about how to take care of things. But the woman is an emotional one to allocate the love correctly. That's just what I think. Let's see. On what I know. Let's see. JP is fine. Matriarch says, oh wait, yep. JP says yes. Being an empathetic person, it was hard to see the harm I was doing to my relationship with the fellas. Yeah, because us as women, we gotta understand guys are different too. At a certain age, I think they love the smother love, but we have to respect when our male children transition to that next stage of growth. That we have to be aware of that it might repel them, and we don't want them to get so used to this the smother love that they expect that hyper what's the word attachedness or clinginess of a woman because that's not natural and that's not normal all the time unless she's got some internal issues going on. But I mean, I think you got to take it with a grain of salt, guys. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like being cuddly and hugging on somebody and saying I love you, but I think we have to understand how we're raising our generation of kids and how we expect that perception is received as they're getting older. That's what I'm kind of trying to hit there. I love okay. Let's see. Blind guy, his wife. The last says, is love smother a term? I guess it is now. Yeah, we've made it a term here, and we branded it here in this live stream. Love smother. Abby Stalker Mom says, I do the opposite in relationships, LOL, from one extreme to the next. Okay, let's elaborate that, Abby Stalker Mom. What do you say you don't smother when you're in a relationship? Or are you saying you do? Because I'm trying to see which opposite extreme you're talking about. Abby Stalker Mom says, my baby, though, I smother with love. Of course. That would be neglect. We gotta smother our babies, guys. It is what it is. And that's how babies learn, guys. If you didn't know, study that too. The psychology of a child, an infant to a toddler, they learn and their brain forms by how you're treating them. They can tell, like when you look away, they learn structure, they learn ideals, they learn empatheticness too by how we hug them and kiss them and hold them. Their brains are learning. People don't realize that. They think with baby, and I hate when people do this with babies. Don't baby talk your baby. Babies' brains are growing so rapidly and they can learn so much in that first it's hyper rapid in the first year, but then from 0 to 5, they can learn anything so quickly. They can pick up languages, guys. They can learn so much, and I think that is a time us as Black people don't realize that is the most important time for our kids. We think, oh, they're babies, they don't do anything, just baby talk them and treat them like babies. But that is the time you need to be exposing them to languages, exposing them to vernacular that is high caliber, big words. We need to expose them to different sceneries and things because they are picking up so much. And I hate that us as a culture, we don't understand that as Black people. We think, oh, we're just gonna let Pookie and Ray Ray them listen to the music and dance. And that in itself is a high level ability for babies to dance and do all those things and clap on beat. But incorporate something in it. And if you have not known, this is why they always put music in baby learning tapes and DVDs and anything dealing with baby toys. It's always like songs and music because that's naturally how the brain receives. And it goes back to genetically how we're built to understand and receive things through music. Really important. Let's see. Abby Stock. Okay. JP the Aspiring Matriarch says, Tadar and blind guy, his wife, their life. You created a new hashtag and a t-shirt. I'll just take a nominal appreciation fee. JP, didn't you try to charge me yesterday for what I said you said was good? Should be on a t-shirt. JP she's sweeping up. She cleaning up, sweeping up, getting that money, monetizing. Let me get this copyright. Right. Exactly, guys. That's so funny. Smother. Is it smother love? Are you a smother lover? You smother lover? That's funny. Are you a smother lover? That's going to be the next question. Next title of next stream. Are you a smother lover or not? I am a consultant. I heard that, JP. I'm not mad at you. You got to get it in. You got to get it in. So what do you guys think as far as what's really going on with people still talking? Did you guys check that though? I did a video on the Kevin Samuels change.org, the change.org petition. Last time I checked, guys, well, first time I checked, it was 1,000 when I originally looked up the story. Then when I updated it, it was at 250,000. Do you guys even think that's purposeful for them to have a petition for Kevin Samuels? Or do you think his say is justifiable and is needed? What do you guys think about that? Because I really would like to have an open conversation about that with people. I mean, because I was in change.org reading through what people were saying, why they were so against Kevin Samuels. And I was just like, good grief. Like, I don't agree with what some of the things he says, but some of the things are based on principle to ideals that he sees in the Black community. And it's rapid because a lot of times we have no type of, I guess you could say guides or morals to certain things. So it's easy for him to talk about it and hyper express the negative because we do it so much. And then we get mad at hearing it, but I'm not in agreement to everything that he says. My biggest thing too is I'm getting advice from somebody that is divorced twice. I'm getting advice from somebody that's divorced, and he's giving me relationship advice. I don't know. I don't see how I receive that, because how can you help me when you've done it wrong twice? I ate those meals, guys. I dropped my thing. Hold on a second, guys. There. Oh, it fall. Oh, it doesn't fall. We're gonna pull it down just in case it does fall. Okay. Let's see. JP, that's fine. Make sure you smother lover you. That was mine, JP. Don't take that one. You said I love the smother. JP is fine. Matriarch says, I think they are all in their feelings. He is standing facts and his doctrine. And Blind Guy, his wife, the life says his day is justifiable and is needed. The 250,000 people in the petition need to get themselves together. And that's why I said, if you actually listen, I think the biggest thing is some people just don't really, like, you haven't sat and listened to like what he's saying in the whole, like, totality, like not just picking out what people are putting on like his hot clips for you to click on, but like, are you really listening to what like he's saying? And he's on that one. Now, listening to what he's saying and his advice is different to me. Listening to what he's saying, the things he's saying is true. He can't be saying it if he didn't have facts about what is going on in our culture. So the things he is saying is true. I think the fact of, I don't know if he's looking at the data or if he really cares about it, but and with the women, as far as you getting a high value man or whatever, that's not even that's 1% of the people that make money in the United States. Now, we're not even fragmenting it and breaking this down to African, I don't want to use that word, Black people in America. We're not even breaking that down to Black people. What percentage of them make that much money? It's very low. So if that's what you're destined for and you're looking for, the odds are very low that you're going to get that, because you don't know the numbers. You don't even know the data as far as a person that makes that much money. Let's see. Blind Guy, his wife, their life. Good. Now we know where the safe is with all the jewels behind. You guys stop it. I'm trying to give an ambiance because I see This is one of my laptops. I actually have another desktop that I actually have the program in to do like blur out the back. But where it's sitting at in my house, I didn't feel like moving it around. So this one's easy because I just kind of portably take it here and then I have something aesthetically behind me. So yeah, I'm working to get better, guys. I'm juggling all of this. I'm give props to you guys for doing it because this is all new to me, and I'm juggling, trying to juggle all this and not struggle stream and trying to get my aesthetics together and then get the information out. And I got to pick and choose which one is the most important. So I'm doing my best, guys. It's gonna get better. I think they're all in their feelings. He's standing in facts and his doctrine. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, if we're really open to listen to each other, we all kind of have our dogma, aka doctrine, our aesthetically what we've been through and why we say what we say. And if you don't understand that about a person, you're going to come back with emotions. And now, if you understand, like he said, that he's been divorced twice, he has children with these women, and they've dogged him and treated him bad. So of course he's going to do his best as far as that negativity that he went through. He wants to make sure nobody else goes through that. And then you have to tie in the fact that he's a consultant of fashion. So he's going to look at the higher echelon of something instead of just regular people talk. He's talking about the clients that he deals with. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. I'm talking about, guys, if you go to change.org when you get a chance and read the comments. They coming for him like he took their first kid. And I get it, but you have to take things in perspective. Well, what are you so angry about that this person did to you that you're so angry back? Because he physically didn't do anything to you. So what's the problem? I don't gotta agree with you. I can hear what you have to say and respect that as long as you respected me back. I don't have to agree. Because I understand as far as the psychology of it. Nobody is saying something unless they're ignorant to just say it. It is because of the values. It is because of the experiences they went through that they have their dogma or doctrine. So if you don't understand that, then you're easy to be emotional and say, "Oh, you're wrong," or "That's stupid," or "You hate this type of person." No, you gotta understand what that person's been through. Then when you understand it, you're like, oh, that's why you're saying what you're saying. So there's a group of people that's going to help. And that group of people, up to you, because I'm trying to touch that group of people. It's not rocket science. Like, everybody is not going to agree. But we have to have enough common sense to know, like, I'm going to agree to disagree, and I'm going to be good. And now I know when somebody says something about you, I can explain why you feel the way you do and not be so ignorant to say, whatever you're doing is stupid and it don't make sense. And I'm gonna cancel you or cut you off. That's the most stupidest thing, to try to cancel somebody because you don't even understand or know why they have that perception. And if you can be adult enough to sit and listen to why they feel what they feel, 9 times out of 10 you have an understanding. And an understanding means that you don't have to agree, but this is why you feel this way. And you have to respect that and move on, guys. You're not going to change everybody. You change who you're meant to change, and those people will come across your path. Other than that, you just live life and enjoy it. You don't transpire to change everybody's minds. Sometimes it's a walk. Sometimes what you said to that person sets a seed, and I know that's more. I'd rather set a seed in you than try to change your mind. I want to set a seed in you by the way I walk, my model, the way I express myself. I give my energy off to you, the way I encourage you. I'd rather express that seed and give you the information all in a bottle and express that than to sit here and try to make you agree with me. Because I know in the end, what I'm saying is from the heart, and I know my intentions are well. So if you don't get that from me, I don't know what atmosphere you're vibing in, because I know the type of energy that I give out, and I know that my whole heart is for understanding, and I always want to know why something is what it is, and I always want to understand it before I open my big mouth about it. Hence research, look stuff up. Stop just assuming and listening to what people tell you. Go look that thing up and get an understanding first, okay? That makes you a wise person, and it makes you, to me, educated. I don't think education is a degree. I think it's a mentality that you take to get an understanding of something. That's education to me. Let's see. I done gave you guys a whole nother dictionary meaning for something, huh? Let's see. I think they are all in their feelings. He is standing on facts and doctrine. That's JP, the smart matriarch. Blind guy, his wife, their life says his day is justifiable and it's needed. 250K people in the petition need to get themselves together with the emoji like this. Blind guy, his wife, the life says, good. Now we know where, oh, yeah, we ain't gonna say that no more, blind guy's wife. Okay, blind guy's wife, the life says, if Kevin Samuels wasn't advising from statistics and facts, it would be different. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, if you have to really go listen to him. You can't just take clips, because if you go listen to what he's saying and you fact check that, or you have any type of understanding where you actually disseminate information, which means I actually go look for the information. I look for statistics about Black culture. I look for statistics about wealth and wealth gaining in America. I look for the statistics about the household, family, marriage, divorce rate. So you have understanding when you look that stuff up. And it's just the way we're just shown on social media and TV. It's just tough. It's the way we're projected. I'm gonna talk about a video I seen, you guys, about a person that said they were why he felt the way he did about African Americans, and he's African, and I'm gonna talk about that too. I thought that was an interesting insight, but I wasn't shocked about it. Let's see. I've checked the statistics he mentions, and I've looked at my surroundings. Yeah, and that's the thing. See, I think it's like I said, we're going back to the Anton-Daniels things. It's the package. People are so agitated, and to me, to be honest, I like a man in a suit. So it's a certain type of it's a certain type of ambiance you bring when you look like you're put together. If that makes sense. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with walking around in a t-shirt and some sweats, because I'll do that any day, and some tennis shoes. I love that. But I'm saying, like, he projected what he wanted to be seen as already. Because if you looked at his like earlier videos, he was looking real squarish. But he stepped his game up, and he created a persona that is commands your attention and commands respect because of the way he holds himself. Now, the thing about people, I think, when they come on Kevin Samuels' platform, you trying to run what he's saying. I won't even do that in my classroom or in my business or facility or anything that I'm doing. You're not going to overtalk me, especially when you came to me. And that's the thing. These women come to him. He's not looking for you. You come to him. So the fact you come to him and you overtalk him, you come to me and ask for my consultation. You come to me and ask for my coaching. You come to me and ask for a question as far as getting a question answered or education or history. And you're asking me, and I'm telling you. Now, if you buck back at me, I don't understand it because you asked me. But see, the thing about me is I think the way he handles it is kind of how I would do it. Like, sometimes I guess he goes ham. But I try to tactfully agree to disagree with you. I don't have to get loud. I think my mannerisms, even in my face, are like, I hear that they are funny. And my facial expressions are just memeable. But yeah, I mean, I feel like if you are really trying to help somebody, sometimes it's a way to be tactful. And I think once you push the button so hard, I think he tries to be very tactful in his demeanor and how he handles stuff, and he really is trying to listen. But when you come in with that, and you guys know, you can feel the energy. You can feel when somebody's coming in negative. Like, it's just human nature to just come back and say something slick. JP Inspiring Matriarch says, oh, I know it's hump day, but it's too early to be setting the mood. Joe, what's up, Joe? Hey, hello, blind guy, his wife. Joe's giving blind guy, his wife a shout out. Kevin Samuels doesn't focus on high value. His audience has done that. Okay. So basically, blind guy, his wife says he doesn't really focus on high value. And I've seen that too in a couple of videos that I've seen. Kevin Samuels is focused on Black men, Black women, Black children, and to better Black lives. And yeah, and the thing about it, guys, we have to get to the truth. I think us as Black people, we have to get to the truth with the numbers. We don't know the numbers. We're walking around just because we can get a house and get a car and go to college and do these things. We think we have money and we have a lot, but we really don't. When you look at the numbers, it's not hard. And I'm going to bring that video. I gotta find it again, guys. I think it's called How to Sell to the Negro. And this was, I think, in the 40s or 50s. And they did a whole TV special about us, guys. They talked about Black people and how Black people like to have money and they like to be flashy, and how to sell to a Black person. You just appeal to their ego and they will buy anything. And this was an era where we were coming into having money, having the status, being able to buy the house and the picket fence. We were having those things, but creating them in our own community. So they were like, you know what? White people was like, you know what? We got to appeal to them because now they're making their own money. Let's figure out how to sell to them. And it's crazy, the psyche, guys. If you really understand how the manipulation of it, it's amazing. Let's see. JP Aspiring Matriarch says, Joe, bruh, man, from the crunk flow. And Blind got his wife. The life says, hey, Joe. JP Aspiring Matriarch says, true. Blind guy, he tries to advocate for the blue collar. Yeah. And see, that's the thing. I think the biggest issue, like I said, is we don't try to understand things ourselves. We don't try to research it. We take these little clips and tidbits and these little sidebars of people, and we don't really try to get understanding. And that's the sad part. Going back, like I said, this advice thing, taking advice from people, can we receive it? Do they have to be credentialed? We don't take things in totality. We look at a situation, we look at that little situation, and then we make these presumptions. Let's say, and getting ourselves together. Yeah, and we're going to have to do that whether we like it or not. As far as Black people in the Black culture, we are our own worst enemy, and we hate to hear that, but it's like we are, but we're the only ones that can bring each other up and help each other get to the next level, which is important. So even though we are our own worst enemy, we can still do the things we need to do to help each other grow and get to where we need to be. It's all just a mindset change. It's all a mindset change. Hence the title of my channel and what I'm trying to do. It's all mindset. It's all mindset, because once you change your mind, you're going to start going forward into walking towards your path, your destiny, what you need to do. And everybody can speak on that. The different people that have experienced things in the chat, all these hardships that we go through in our life, we either could stay there where we're at, or we can do a mind shift. We can change our mind about things. And so that's the biggest thing, guys. We have to change what our mind is saying. We have to change what, if we're going to take a step forward. I did a video over there, a motivational video. You know, we all have the same 2 feet. Are you going to take a step forward with your 2 feet? Or are you just going to stay where you're at? Because you can always move forward. All right. That was my little motivational clip. And that's very important too. We have to know that we can move forward, guys, no matter what. And when we're going through stuff, it's just the essence of time. It doesn't mean you're going to stay there. It just means you're going through it now, and you're just going to get through it and move forward. It's really important. Very, very important, guys. Very, very important. All right, so let's see. Good to teach. All right, credential liberator. Okay, cool, guys. I think I have hit the points I wanted to hit in this live stream. I appreciate everyone here. I might go on live later today too, guys. There's another topic I wanted to talk about. I've seen a report, guys, on black hair and relaxers, the damage of the relaxers, guys, and how it's causing cancer now in people years later, 24 years later. So if you're 24 or younger or older, I'm sorry, and you were doing relaxers back then, it's very likely you might have cancer. So we're gonna probably discuss that later. I'm gonna get my research together on that. So other than that, guys, that is it for me today. If you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and ask me in chat. Otherwise, I'm going to head out. And I enjoyed the conversation today. I enjoyed the engagement of everybody. Shout out to Blind Guy, his wife, their live, JP the Matriarch, Joe from the Fifth Flow, Abby Stalker Mom, and everybody that came through. I appreciate you guys, and we will talk again soon. Make sure you guys are checking my new videos. Make sure you turn on the bell so you guys can get updates when I come on live and when I drop videos. I try to drop our motivational videos at least every 2 days for you guys. So if you're feeling down, make sure you check those out. Make sure you guys check out JP the Aspiring Matriarch. And that is it, guys. Have a great day.